Welcome to Duality Gamecast. Today's episode, Ghost Stories.
Welcome to Duality Gamecast. I'm Matt.
And I'm William.
Today we're taking a look at Ghost Stories.
Ghost Stories is a cooperative game where you take on the role of Taoist defending a possessed town from evil spirits. Each turn is broken up into two phases, yin and yang. Starting with the yin phase is the ghost phase. So let's start with the red player here. On the red player's turn, first all the middle icons on ghosts they have activate. So this would move forward one space. If it ends up on this space here, it would possess the tile in front of it. Which, by the way, if 4 tiles are possessed, the players have lost the game. Then this one resets. Then, after all the middle icons on the color tile have activated, the player plays the top card from the deck. Cards get played in the corresponding color area, unless they're black, in which case they go on the color player who's playing them right then. This one here. So this one says when it comes into play, the player who played it loses 1 key. That's not so much fun. And it puts a little ghost on here, so now even more stuff's going to start getting possessed quickly. Now we're done with the ghost phase, it's time to move on to yang. During the yang time, your player can move 1 space on the board, and then either try to exercise some ghosts or activate that tile. So let's say we move here. We can choose to either pick up one of these Buddha statues to use later, or we can choose to exercise as ghosts. To do that, you simply roll the dice and try to get a color that matches the ghost here, in which case this one needs 1 red icon to beat. We didn't roll any, but we did roll a white, which is a wild, so we can defeat it. Well, let's say that we didn't roll any red icons. What else could we have done? Each player can collect these little tokens throughout the game. This one right here is red. It counts as 1 red success to beat it. There's 1 for every color. Players start with 1 other color at the beginning of the game. So if we beat this one, yay for us, we're doing well, we're keeping up. We pass to the next player, play continues around the board. Continues like this until Wu Feng shows up. Then you have to defeat him. He has a bunch of icons, he's really hard to beat. If you don't beat him within 10 turns, basically of him showing up, players lose the game. Another way players can lose the game, besides the tile slipping over or just Wu Feng hanging out and being cool, is if players run out of key. You only start with 3, and if you run out of all of them, you're out of the game. If all players run out of all their key, they're out of the game. If everyone's out of the game, of course, you're all out of the game. Another way that you can run out of key, though, is if all the tokens are full here on your board at the beginning of your turn, instead of playing another tile or another card, you just lose 1 key for that turn.
Alright, Ghost Stories, a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players from Antoine Bauza. William, let's hear what you think of the gameplay.
Super hard.
We were talking about this before we started.
I don't think we've played it on anything but the wussy little baby level, I think is what they call it. It's the easiest level. I played it quite a few times. I think I'm running at like 5% win ratio right now on it. It's hard. Now, the game's like, to win is hard. The gameplay is simple though. I mean, basically you move a space, and then there's 9 actions you can choose to depend on where you moved at, or you can choose to roll the dice and beat the ghosts. I think that's where this comes, like, where the difficulty comes in this one, is that I always try to really stack myself. Like, I know that, like, well, that guy has 3 red symbols. I'm going to get 3 red tokens and make sure I can beat him. But if you try to build up to that, if you spend too much time prepping, the board overruns, because every turn a ghost is showing up. Yeah. And so basically, if every turn you're not being somehow magically killing a ghost, you're falling behind. And the fact that if we just sat here for 3 turns, the board fill up, we'd all be like basically dead right away. It's brutal. It's brutal. But there's some, and I mean, it's a cooperative game, so you can definitely get some alpha gamery going on here. But it's fun. Because there's dice rolling to determine like the outcome of the fighting, you can't completely alpha gamer it. You can't say like, okay, you do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this. I mean, you could be like, you probably should go over there and try to fight that ghost. And if you win, hopefully I'll be able to do something over here. And if I win, maybe the yellow player will be able to go over there and like flip that switch type of a thing. So it lends itself towards the alpha gamer standpoint. I think because of the dice rolls, it kind of helps mitigate that. And then one of the things I really like about it, because I'm starting with the negatives there, I guess. One of the things I like about those is that each player has their own unique power. So each color has a different power, and actually their boards are double-sided. Each side has has kind of like a strong and a medium version of their power. So in a way, you can kind of handicap yourself in this game, because there's like, for instance, the green player. The green player's two abilities are, one of them is roll an extra dice when you fight. So you roll 4, and don't roll the black dice, which is only rolls bad stuff. I don't think you even talked about that. Some things make you roll those bad dice, and they basically all punch you in the stomach. Yeah. Play more goes, lose stuff, haunt a square, that type of a thing. So the green guy's one side of his board says, roll 4 dice when you're fighting, and don't roll the black dice. The other side says, re-roll your dice if you want to, and re-roll the black dice if you want to, which, re-rolling a dice that only hurts you, it's better not to roll it. So like there's definitely one side there that's stronger. I feel like it's kind of like that on each of them. There's kind of like they're both in the same theme, but one has a much more powerful effect than the other one. So that's kind of cool that you can, like, I feel like if you get to the point where you're like, oh, I'm like 100%ing this game now somehow, I don't know how you do that, you can flip the boards over and go, okay, well, I'm going to take a little bit of a penalty now. And so it lets you kind of build it as tough as you want. There's all sorts of different difficulty levels. You can throw more Wu Fangs in there. I don't know how there's more than one of them, but the game comes with a big variety of his like aspects that you can pick from, and they all have different kind of shticks on them. They all have different difficulty ratings, and it's random only what's in there. They go 10 from the bottom, and if the deck runs out before you beat him after he shows up, you lose. So there's other ones where multiples of them show up, and then you have a bunch of big guys you have to plow through. I mean, like this one here requires 2 red, 2 green, 2 blue, and 2 yellow. If you're rolling 3 dice and you got to get 8 icons, it's a little hard to do. Obviously, you have to prep up and group together and that type of thing. And that's something else I missed, I think, during the gameplay is you collect those little tokens that have the different colored icons on them to help you out. If you're on the same square as somebody else who has them and you're making the exorcism roll if you're attacking, they can choose to pitch in their tokens to help you out. So you can't have one person that's maybe running around collecting all the little tokens, because some people are more efficient at it and some squares are better at that. And someone else, maybe the guy who gets to roll more dice, gets to run up and actually try to do the exorcism, and the other guy that's there is just kind of throwing rice and bells and silver mirrors and whatever else, coins, incense, that you're throwing around to try to do this stuff. So it has that cool aspect of teamwork where one person, like, there's definitely, everybody has a little bit of a role going on here. But you all can help out, but some people are stronger in one area.
Yeah. This game is hard. But for me, you were talking about the alpha gamer thing. We've played it quite a bit. I haven't really encountered that. And I feel like because it's so hard, like, it's hard to win. Mm-hmm. I think there's this sort of thread of desperation in the game that I think kind of squelches the alpha gamer thing to a certain degree. Like, I feel like in this cooperative game, we players talk to each other and, try to work out the best choices a lot more than in some other ones. I think in a game like Pandemic, it just, the pace doesn't feel, at least for most of that game, the pace doesn't feel as like there's an imminent doom
until it happens.
So in that game, the big mouth alpha gamer person can totally be like, do this, go over here, go over here. In this game, you just from the get-go, you're like, ah, crap, ghosts, let's do stuff. And so I feel like, I think in addition to the dice rolling, like you said, I think it just makes you all feel more like a team. Like you're all feeling threatened at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I love that. Like I would way more prefer that kind of game for cooperative play than a pandemic-y kind of game. Love that. You do have the sort of asynchronous player abilities. I think it's kind of funny that you have sort of this action selection or worker placement part to the game. I feel like it's almost poking you in the eye. It's almost making fun of you because you feel like, oh, I've played, you could be a seasoned gamer and be like, I've played all kinds of worker placement games, action selection games. You go here and you do something. The house is falling down around you the whole time. So it's like, oh man, can I afford to take this action right now? Or am I just going to bicycle kick some more ghosts and hope we live another round? So, you know, good job, Antoine Bauza. You're kind of mocking and utilizing the action selection at the same time. So I love that. What do you think about the art and component quality?
I think the art's really cool and all of it. I'm sure we can throw some stuff up on the board. Each of the ghosts has very distinct looks. There's a lot of ghosts, like there's only like 4 or 5 different types of ghosts of each color. But even the ghosts that have the same type, like there might be, I think one was called like Sticky Feet or something like that as one of the ghosts. The art's different for like the 3 different Sticky Feet ghosts in the thing. So they did a great job with the card art of having all this like cool different, like you never sit down and go, oh, there's 2 of the same ghosts on the board. That's never going to happen, even though they actually mechanically are 2 of the same ghosts. The iconography on it is pretty straightforward and simple. There's 1 or 2 of them that still, even now, I have to go back to the rule book, just because most of the icons are used pretty universally in all of them, and so you know exactly what they do. But there's 1 or 2 that it's only on like, it's on 2 ghosts out of the whole thing, and every time it comes up, I'm like, oh man, what does that one do again? Did it keep me from using tokens? Does it make me not roll it? I have to go look. But overall, I think that's great. In terms of quality of like the materials, chipboard's good. Everything's very much color coded. I mean, even all the little figures, they're cool little poses. They all look exactly the same, but they're all different colors. So it's really easy. I mean, sort of colorblind situation. They're easy to tell apart. Even the Buddhas are awesome. I really like them. They're nice, quality looking. I could put this up on my shelf right there. And I think it's kind of funny to me. The one thing that sticks out to this is the possessing spirits. They look like little ring wraiths.
Ring wraiths, yeah.
And they're like very classic to me looking ghosts that none of the art anywhere depicts anything that looks like this, except for the icon depicting like using this marker. The ghosts themselves don't look like this, so they kind of contrast with it. But still, it's great quality. They're an awesome little piece. They just kind of stick out a little bit from you know, the rest of the components.
Yeah, I think it's really well made. I love the art. I guess I wouldn't really call it anime art, but it does kind of feel a little bit like, you know, that sort of Asian cartoony theme, but serious cartoon, not silly at all. There's a little bit of goriness on some of the images, I guess. This feels like a game, it's already great, it's quality-wise, but it feels like a game that they could do like a deluxe version of and just blow people's minds, you know what I mean? But it's great, you know, the little figures are awesome, tiles are great. I have a little trouble with iconography. No, I don't own this game. I've played it a lot, but I'm not usually one setting it up. So there are a lot of times where I'm like, what is that one? Okay. And especially because this is kind of one of those games that I really love, but it seems like we play it in a very kind of long rotation. Like it's maybe a few months before we play it again, because we've had it for a long time. So I kind of have to refresh my brain every time we play. But the player abilities are real easy. The tile abilities are real easy to understand once we get going. Like the ghost icons are probably the ones that catch me the most. Or the black die icons. You know, some of them are 5 circles with a cross through it. You know, everyone's got to remind me how that works every time we play. But that's okay. Overall, I thought really, really pretty strong production value.
So ghost stories. I think I'm going to go with a like it on this one. It could be a love it, but it just doesn't quite, well, I guess anything could be a love it, but it doesn't quite reach it there for me. I've enjoyed playing it. I think we said earlier it's on a long rotation for us. I think it's wearing itself out for me. Just because the way you win is based a little bit too much on randomness, I feel, because of the dice. I know I play games where just from bad rolls, we get overwhelmed quite quickly. And so while we enjoy it when the game is rolling even and everything's going well, those couple things can get a little frustrating. So I'm going to go with I like it.
All right, Ghost Stories is designed by Antoine Bauza. Let me list some more games that this guy has made for you. 7 Wonders, Hanabi, The Hot New Samurai Spirit, Takanoko, Terra Meeple City, and Tokaido. Wow, that is quite a lineage. and I love this game. I'm real picky with my co-ops. Like, I don't like games that encourage alpha gamers for co-ops. I don't like boring. I feel like one person could be doing everything. I could just drink my soda kind of co-ops. The game has to be difficult. It has to be pressure, and there has to be pressure. And this game delivers in spades. So because of that, I'm going to call this a must-buy because it is a superior co-op game. And if you're going to have co-op in your collection, why not go with the best? Hey guys, thank you for joining us for this Ghost Stories review. Ghost Stories is a terrific game with a horror theme. We want to know what's your favorite horror-themed game. New or old, we don't care. We probably want to play it, maybe even review it. So let us know in the comments below. Thank you to all these people for helping out. And please click on me to subscribe.
And in to seal your doom.
Ooh, what was that from?
And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver. For no mere mortal can resist the evil of a thriller.
Oh, you're doing you're doing Thriller. I didn't even realize it. That's funny. I thought you were doing some awesome, like,
no,
15th century poem.
No,
it's Thriller.
It's Thriller. It's kind of like 15th century poetry.